Northwest Arkansas has a rich history of battlegrounds and landmarks dating back as far as the Civil War. In a special report, KNWA's Kelly O'Neill is in studio with how Northwest Arkansans can still feel and celebrate deep ties to our history this Independence Day.
On May 6, 1861, Arkansas declared its secession from the Union. During the Civil War, the natural state became a strategic target for both the North and South because of its location on the Mississippi River. That's why a great deal of fighting happened here. Many of the historical battlefields and landmarks are preserved right here in Northwest Arkansas.
The Battle of Pea Ridge, March 7th and 8th of 1862, was probably the most significant battle west of the Mississippi River.
Over 23,000 men fought from Union and Confederate forces here in Pea Ridge, otherwise known as the Battle of Elkhorn Tavern.
March 8th of 1862 was highlighted with the largest artillery bombardment up to that point in the Civil War, where we had 21 guns started the bombardment, and then 6 more jumped in. But for 2 hours, we had Union artillery out here raking the Confederate line with artillery projectiles.
The artillery was so loud it could be heard 30 miles away in Fayetteville.
It was a precursor for allowing the Federals to continue their river campaign. So it was a very important victory for the federal government.
Union forces led by General Samuel Curtis were successful in recapturing territory lost during an initial Confederate offense. The victory on March 8th played a pivotal role in securing Missouri for the Union. 8 months later, in November 1862, the Confederates, led by General Thomas Hindman, traveled to Cane Hill during a drought in Fort Smith.
Confederate soldiers knew it was the Union soldiers were in the area, but they were not planning to actually fight that day. They were coming here just for food, so they were really surprised.
Union General James Blunt, upset with this attempt to take their food, started a running battle.
It started up by the cemetery, and they were actually the Confederates were facing the wrong direction. They actually the Union came in behind them and surprised them, and so they had to get all their artillery turned back around. And by the time they got turned back around, it was way too late.
The battle itself lasted only 15 minutes and destroyed the state's first institution of higher learning, Cane Hill College.
People think this battle was part of the mission to try to get Missouri back, and this battle was just strictly over food and arrogance.
Cane Hill was a prelude to the Battle of Prairie Grove, and several months later, tensions between the Union and Confederates led to the Battle of Fayetteville on April 18, 1863. The Confederates attacked.
They spread all across along the hill here, real early in the morning, like before 6 o'clock. They were here under General Cabell, and they all lined up across here, and they put a couple of cannons over on about Olive and Spring, somewhere in there, had taking shots at the headquarters houses where the Union was set up with Colonel M. LaRue Harrison as the commander.
The Confederates made 2 charges that day.
They made a cavalry charge up Dixon Street right in front of headquarters house, and the Union met with a barrage of gunfire and just splintered the Confederate troops, who made a kind of a U-turn, if you will,
resulting in a Union victory and the city of Fayetteville being burned to the ground. Hogan estimates there were around 50 casualties brought here to the Confederate cemetery for final burial.
The soldiers here are from Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Missouri. Those guys fought in this area and died here.
The cemetery contains around 800 graves. Many of the soldiers fell in the Battle of Pea Ridge or at the Battle of Prairie Grove.
The Confederate Cemetery is a result of the activities and the work of the Southern Memorial Association of Washington County. It was founded on June 10th, 1872, and the cemetery was dedicated on June 10th, 1873, 1 year later.
To learn how you can tour Pea Ridge National Military Park and historic Cane Hill, as well as upcoming events at these sites, visit our website, nwahomepage.com. In studio, Kelly O'Neill, KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.